Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. Well, because I get a lot of questions about various things, I thought now would be a good time to go ahead and just give you a little rundown of why I started my channel in the first place, in its purpose, and how it's kind of evolved through the years of having this channel. And by the way, I do have a grandbaby in here with me today because Patrick's not here to keep an eye on him. So hopefully he'll be quiet. We'll see how it works out. And really, this goes back a few years before I even started my channel. While I was still teaching dance, mostly ballet, with a little bit of jazz and some other things tossed in there, but the main focus was ballet, and then also teaching martial arts, which included a little bit of Wu Wei Gung Fu, some Jiu-Jitsu, and mostly Taekwondo. And I was doing that here in this big room, which is my former dance/martial arts studio. Well, while I was still doing that, and the dance I had been teaching for 28 years, and I had just been seeing a lot of changes and feeling a pull within myself to start heading in a different direction. And of course, by this time, I was already into gardening and had been doing a lot of things from scratch for many years. In fact, I started cooking from scratch when I was 15 or even 9, first thing I ever made from scratch. But, you know, that developed through the years. And then also got into learning how to make my own products, such as tooth powder, deodorant, and more, rather than having to be dependent on the store and some of their junk that they add in those. And as I was learning these things, and a lot of the things I was sharing at the time, all I had was Facebook. I was sharing that on Facebook, and a lot of people were interested and intrigued. And whenever I would share something I created, people wanted a written recipe, especially if it was like a food thing. I would just show a picture of, oh, this is what I made today, like a lot of people do. But because a lot of times I would just make things on the fly and just make things up, I didn't have a written recipe to give people. And so that was another one of the things that got me to thinking, well, I wonder if maybe it would be a good idea for me to shoot videos, and then that way people can see how I do things as I explain it, and then also give people the liberty to take that recipe and run with it and do whatever they want, and just show how this is how I do it, and you know, whatever you want to do with it, and make it however you want. And of course, at the time, all I knew about was YouTube as a way to do that. So I ended up retiring from teaching dance. I kept doing the martial arts for about another year, but even during that, just feeling more and more that I was probably going to just go in a different direction. And so I decided to go ahead and just give it a try. And when I first started my channel, I didn't even bother trying to monetize. Back then, you didn't have to meet all these requirements to monetize. You could just do that right off the bat. And so I just didn't do that yet because I just kind of wanted to learn more about it. Started putting videos out. I had no special equipment. All I had was an old video camera that we used to use to record my dance shows and other such things. And I didn't have any special lighting, so my lighting was dark and poor. Some people look back at my old videos and go, boy, you look so much more healthy now. Well, it's actually the lighting. That's the difference good lighting can make. It can make you look healthier. Just being able to actually have your face fully lit up like you would see it in real life, rather than a darkened version that you see where the video quality wasn't good to begin with, and then the lighting was bad to boot. And then I had people that had really been urging me to monetize, saying, you know, you're just basically losing money with every video you put out. And why I was so nervous about it, I don't know, but I finally took the plunge, and about 2 months after starting my channel, I decided to monetize. Now, what that means for those who don't understand all that is that nobody has to pay to watch my videos, but YouTube will put commercials into your videos, and those commercials can go wherever you want them. I only put them at the beginning and the very end. I never break up my videos because I personally don't like watching videos that do that. So even though I can make more money, I decided to keep it that way. But anyway, that means that a YouTuber earns money off the ad revenue from the commercials that are on the videos, and that is tallied by how many views a video gets. And I know that the length of time I think it's like if a person watches at least 30 seconds, that's of a commercial, then that's one way the channel gets as much money as they can off of that ad. You know, if it's an hour long, 5-minute long ad, watching more than 30 seconds isn't going to change that, from what I understand. But even just views helps a lot. And so nobody has to pay. Now, I know out there's people that have YouTube, because they've added different things where you can set up special clubs where you have to pay a monthly fee to be able to see all the things, just like Patreon, where most places are set up where you have to donate X amount of dollars per month to be able to see all the content. None of my content is ever like that. Not at all. When I first started Patreon, I thought I only had options, and I only did it because people asked me to, until I realized I don't have to lock down my posts. I can make them public to anyone who wants to see them, and nobody has to pay a dime unless they want to. And so that's how my Patreon's set up. Everything is free and open. Even on Rumble, some people have it set up where you have to pay per view kind of thing. I won't do that. Even though I only make about 25 cents to 50 cents a day on Rumble, I'm just not going to do that. Rumble is an extension. It's just another backup source where I can put my videos for people who don't want to be on YouTube, or to also have it as a backup place if something ever happens here with my channel on YouTube. And at least I have another platform all ready to go. So I am putting videos there, as those of you on Rumble are seeing right now, up on a regular basis again, which has been nice to be able to have both going. So at any rate, I don't plan on leaving YouTube at any time. It's all going to be up to them. If maybe someday I'll retire from it, I'm sure, but for now I'm staying for as long as I possibly can. Okay, little man's getting a little sad, so we'll just hold him. He wants to be held. He loves to be cuddled all the time. So as my channel continued on, I realized how many people I was able to help and teach things to. And so that just teaching nature in me, which has been there for at least since my teens, I was able to express that in a new and different way outside of teaching dance and martial arts to young children. And I was also able to reach people all over the world, which I just thought was wonderful. And so I continued on with that, and the types of things I decided to delve into, because I knew at first I was just going to do recipes, like, how to do certain things for yourself. I wasn't sure if I was going to do garden related videos or preparedness related videos, but as I went along, it just made sense for me to go ahead and start adding those, and people wanted that information, and I'm glad that I can share it. And I've had so many people come back to me and tell me how much my videos have helped them. And that's one of the things that it just encourages me so much. So it keeps me doing what I'm doing. So then people probably wonder, but how do you really make it? Because one thing you have to understand is when I first started my channel, Patrick's job was incredibly stressful. He was working for the federal government, and it was horribly stressful. And it was starting to take a serious toll on him, on his health. And, it was a scary time for us when I started my channel, because we didn't know what was going to happen. But I knew that I couldn't see him stay in that job. And without teaching the dance and martial arts, there was that concern of, will I ever be able to make enough money off of YouTube to support us if he either has to quit or whatever happens? But I just kept plugging ahead because I really felt led to do that. And even though when I first monetized my channel, I only made $50 the first month. But then after that, I was making $100 to $200, maybe even $300 a month. Still not enough to live off of, but it was something. And we just kept approaching things with a lot of prayer and just hanging in there. And then it worked out for Patrick to get an early retirement. Now, he doesn't make a lot of money, especially because he took an early retirement. It's not that much per month, but it definitely was something that could get us by. And then in 2020 was when my channel really took a good leap and finally got to a point where I could earn a livable wage off of YouTube alone. But also during that time and before that happened, our actual number one source of income was selling products that we make. It would be seeds from the garden. It would be the colloidal silver generators. It was the vacuum chambers that Patrick was making. And these were things that people were asking us to sell. And then there was my skin cream. There was the skirts. There was a lot of things that we were selling. Some things we're not doing anymore, but most things we still are. And eventually I started an Etsy store, and that just really did good. That was definitely our number one source of income. But now that we're still selling product, but not doing it on Etsy anymore, that's dropped down to our third main source of income. Now YouTube is at the top. Rumble is at the very, very bottom. Then we have affiliates like the Amazon affiliate. And I know a lot of people hate Amazon, that's fine. But just remember, there's a lot of good, honest people that earn a wage from Amazon, and it helps a lot of channels out. It was one of the things that really helped us through that difficult time, was having that Amazon income as well to supplement the YouTube income. And they were, at the time, they were about equal. I was making $200 to $300 a month off of both. But now YouTube earns more than Amazon, which is fine. I mean, everything tends to balance out, and we've done pretty good with that. So those are the four main things we make money off of: is YouTube, our affiliates, the products that we sell, and then Patrick's retirement. That's how we earn an income and keep the bills paid. And before I continue on, I want to talk just briefly about the products and how you can get a hold of them. But I wanted to refer you back to a video I did back before my first grandson was born. This is my second grandson, and then we have a granddaughter now too. And in that video, I was actually crocheting an Afghan for him before he was born. And I was talking about how I got here. So that video, some of you, if you're interested in this, some of you may be even more interested in that, maybe. It just goes back to how I started in this direction, even from when I was a young child, and some of the things that I was interested in, and learning how to cook and bake, and just doing various things for myself. And then, how I met Patrick, I think I talked a bit about that, and just what led me to this small town, even though I was somewhat of a city girl. And so you might find that interesting, so I'll link to it in the description box down below. And then back to the products. For those who are interested, I decided for several reasons to leave Etsy. I'd already been feeling a pull that I needed to get away from Etsy. And then when they pulled that whole thing with forcing everyone to verify their bank account through Plaid, and then reading the Plaid privacy policy, I said, absolutely not. This is definitely my sign that it's time to vacate Etsy. And so I did. And again, though we're not making the money we did for, because we're just not selling as much product, but at least we're not paying the high prices of that Etsy was charging. And so we get to keep more of our revenue. And it's also brought my stress level down, because it was getting to where it was hard to keep up with sending sometimes as many as 30 packages out in a day. Typical amount would have been 10 to 15 every day, every day of the week. Well, 6 days a week that I was shipping out packages. And now it's down to maybe 5 to 10 packages a week. And that's fine. I'm good with that. But anyway, if you're interested in our products and what we sell, we've cut out all middlemen. I will not set up a website. I know people say I should go here, go there, set up a website. I have my reasons, and I'm not going to go into all that here. It's kind of long, but I have my reasons why I'm kind of backing away from more and more things and trying to keep things more totally controlled by me, no middlemen, no having to pay fees to some place to be able to have a website or to have a storefront, and just kind of dealing with it ourselves. But at any rate, if you are interested, we do still make and sell quite a few products. You can just send me an email to raincountryhomestead@gmail.com, and I will send you the full product list, which also includes a list of 4 different notification email lists you can sign up for if you're interested in that. And that way, when we get new products in that category or it's available again, then we'll send you pictures and send out the notification. Then you can know and you can decide. And some things like skirts, Afghans, and stuff like that, that would be a first come, first serve, because we can't put those things out as quickly, especially now while I'm still waiting for my knee to fully heal before I get back into making the sewn items. that's how you can find out what we sell and what the prices are and how to order. And unfortunately, I cannot do, I think I can still do Canada, but I really can't do much for international orders, especially anything in the UK, because I don't have a VAT license and I don't want to apply for one. Oh, why are you starting to get cranky? I guess that means it's time for Grandma to close out her video. He might be hungry too, and I think he needs a nap. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it at least somewhat interesting, and maybe it helped answer some questions. And if you're interested in starting your own channel, about a year or so ago, I did a video on tips to get started, and I'll link to that video in the description box down below as well. All right, well, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.